It doesn't matter if you're Labour, if you're Conservative, if you're left-wing, if you're right-wing. This issue goes across the political divide and everyone should be concerned. Greetings and welcome. Now, today I think I've found something, a topic that, like I just said, doesn't matter if you're left, right, Conservative, Labour, everyone should be concerned about this, and this goes across the political spectrum. And of course I'm talking about the issue with Stephen Bray. Now, most of my viewers, my regular subscribers will probably know what's going on with Stephen, but I'll just briefly describe what the guy has, what's happened to him. He's an anti-Brexit campaigner, and he's been outside Parliament campaigning pretty much since the Brexit vote all those years ago, which is his right. Which is his right as a free member of society. He has the right to be able to do that, and so should he do that. But recently he's had his equipment taken away from him by the police, his microphone, his amplifier, and he's been summoned to court because the government has singled him out. They want to test out their new policing bill, Priti Patel's brand spanking new policing bill. They want to test out how far they can push these laws against protest, and they've singled out an innocent member of the public to do this on, and it's an absolute disgrace. This man has the right to protest. He's outside Parliament, one of the busiest streets in England. He's not causing any trouble to residents. He's not talking into a microphone in the middle of a residential area. He's in the centre of London, outside Parliament. Where else are you supposed to protest? If you can't protest, if you can't stand outside Parliament and protest, please tell me where you can protest. And it's an absolute disgrace that this man has been summoned to court. First of all, straight off the bat, we need to help this guy. I'm going to put a link down below to the page where you can donate to him, because he needs to fight this, and he needs to have the best legal representation that he can get hold of. So we all need to help him out. Obviously, if you can't afford it, I know times are hard, don't. I think the lowest amount that you can donate is £5. Just basically sit there and think to yourself, would I miss £5 from my bank account? If the answer to that is no, then please donate. If the answer to that is yes, then don't donate. Maybe share this video or something like that. But it's an absolute disgrace what's going on. And like I say, this splits the political divide here. And I would like to see more right-wing medias get on top of this story. I had a quick glance at your usual suspects, Talk TV, GB News on YouTube, not a single mention of this topic. Fair enough, they may not have heard about it. I mean, it's quite big in the circles that I move in with, him being an anti-Brexit campaigner, so it's quite a well-known story for me, but maybe they haven't heard of it. But they need to be talking about this, because they supposedly, passionately are for freedom of speech. We hear this so much from Talk TV and GB News, the freedom of expression. You can't take away our freedom of speech. Well, if you want to get on top of something, this is what you need to get on top of. I'm not on Twitter. I had a love-hate relationship with Twitter. I find it quite poisonous for my life, because I can go on it and I can waste a couple of hours and I don't know where those hours are gone. So I had to get rid of it, but I know its uses, and I should be on it really. And its uses is right here. I employ anyone to do what you do on Twitter and promote this story to people like Nick Grimes and Julia Hartley-Brewer. And to Julia Hartley-Brewer's credit, when something similar happened to Novara Media, the left-wing YouTube channel, when that got taken off of YouTube, she was on Twitter saying, we need to, although I don't agree with its content, it needs to be taken back and put back on YouTube. So this should be something that she should get behind. She really should. This should be a topic for her. Maybe she doesn't know about it, that's the thing. So if you're on Twitter, if you can tweet this story to all these sort of usual right-wing pundits, they should be on top of this. Little experiment. Type yes in the comment section to this video if you would feel as passionately about this if the role was reversed. So in an alternate universe, Remain won the Brexit vote and there was a pro-Brexit campaigner outside and this was happening to him. He had his equipment confiscated, he was summoned to court. Would you feel as passionately about this, the disgusting way that the government are using these policing laws and testing them out on innocent members of the public, would you feel just as strongly? Because I would, without a doubt, I would absolutely, if this was happening to a pro-Brexit campaigner, I would feel just as strongly about this, because it's absolutely disgusting and our rights are being taken away, and it's that go back to the classic saying, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And I think we appreciate what we have in this country and forget how hard fought it was to have these rights of freedom of expression, of democracy, and they're slowly being taken away. And it doesn't get taken away with a sledgehammer, it gets taken away bit by bit, and the government tests what they can do. They test what they can get away with, and that is exactly what's going on with Stephen Bray at the moment, and it's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And there is no right, because there was in the policing bill, there was that Priti Patel did try and get through, if you're being loud, you know, a certain noise level to a protest, then we can get the police involved. But they took that out, that's no longer there. So there is no reason to bother this man that is peacefully protesting outside of Parliament. I mean, one person, crazy enough that you actually have to thank to some of the amendments in that policing bill, was Theresa May. Now, God, you do not hear me praising Theresa May that often. She done some disgusting things when she was Prime Minister. Forefront in my head is the Windrush generation, the amount of people that she sent back to the Caribbean, mums that had British-born children in this country deported out of the. It's absolutely disgusting, some of the things that she done, but she was right on this one. I'll play a little clip of her against Priti Patel in Parliament.
So the first area I would mention is giving police the powers to deal with static protests in the way that they have been able to deal with marches, because these have always been differentiated in the past. The second is around noise and nuisance, because some of the definitions do look quite wide, and I think I would urge the government to look at those definitions. And finally, my point is about the power for the Home Secretary to make regulations about the meaning of serious disruption to the activities of an organisation or the life of the community. It's tempting with Home Secretary to think that giving powers to the Home Secretary is very reasonable, because we all think we're reasonable. But actually, future Home Secretaries may not be so reasonable. So there are very important elements of this bill, but I would urge the government to consider carefully the need to walk a fine line between being popular and populist. Our freedoms depend on it.
So yeah, God knows what this policing bill would have had in it if people like her didn't get involved and try and reduce its severity. But that's it from me. Just a quick video. I just wanted to push this one out there because this is such an important issue, and if you can, please support Stephen by donating. And he needs to get the best legal representation he can, and I think he's got a lot of people behind him, which is great. Till next time, take care.